are back. Guess what? We are going to continue building our project. Okay, this is where we left. We built this featured section, which is responsive, as we saw before. So, looking at the original project, we need to build this section. I'm gonna click here and I'm going to be taken to that section. So I'm gonna be taken to a specific area inside my page. There we go, boom. So this is the section that we are going to be building next, okay? It's a 3-column layout, also using CSS Grid. So smaller devices, 1 column, 2 columns, 3 columns, they stack on top of each other. Medium-sized devices, we get 2 columns side by side, 1, 2, and the 3rd column takes the full width, okay? And then growing up, boom. On large devices, we get 3 columns side by side, 1, 2, 3, okay? Okay, this is the component that we are going to be building in this video, so let's continue. Great, amazing. Our project, of course, doesn't have that component, so let's go and build that component that we just saw now. Okay, Visual Studio Code, there we go, feature it, we are done with this. We need to look for this component right here. And let's just include it right away inside our own page, because this is what we've been doing. We've been creating components and then rendering them all inside the home page, because this page is a one-page website, okay? So I'm gonna import and I'm gonna put it right below this featured component. Okay, amazing. So now let's go back to the component itself and let's see what we have to do. Okay, let's analyze this a tiny bit. So we have like the 3 columns, we have an image, so we're gonna need the image component from Next.js that we used before here. Oh, now that I think about it, I don't think we used the image component. We should have. Let's just go to the featured. And yes, we haven't used the image component. So of course it still works, but in this component, I'm gonna leave this one as it is, because you're dealing with Next, so you should use like the link component like I did here, and you should also use the image component. That is better, especially because the images get rendered better, the aspect ratio and all of that, so you can read all about it in the official documentation. Just Google Next.js image component or Next.js image. So I'm gonna leave this one here. I'm not going to change this component, but in the component that we are going to be building, this one, I'm gonna be using the image component and also the link component. So I'm gonna import them right away. So link from Next, link. I made that mistake, I didn't realize, but I'm gonna fix it now. I'm gonna be using the image, okay, from Next image. Okay, one thing. Why is this breaking? What? I have no idea. What's wrong with this? Not anymore. Okay, sometimes I get confused and scared for a fraction of a second, because as you saw, the file was turning red. I didn't understand why, and I still don't. It seems like there's some sort of delay while Next.js is processing everything that you type in and save. whatever, no problem, done. I was going to say that in the previous component we used the typical HTML tag for images. In this one we'll be using what is recommended. But the thing is, when you use the image component, you always have to pass in 4 attributes: the image source, the image alt, the width, and the height. If you do not use these 4 attributes in your image component while working in Next.js, it might work, probably it will work, it will still render the image, but if you open your console you will get an error, at least a warning message, maybe an error. So keep in mind that you should use these components the way they are meant to be used. It's like, for example, I'm going to give you a very silly example. In HTML you have headings that go from H1 to H6, okay? And people sometimes, well, not that often anymore, but I mean there were situations in the past where people were like creating H7 HTML tags. It was rendered, but technically it's wrong. So my point is, even if it works or seems to be working because it's rendering the content on the page, that does not mean that you should do it. And still with the headings example, many people like to have like big titles, which is great and then understandable. And so instead of using H1, H2, H3 or whatever heading they need and give it a different font size, in the past I also saw people using plenty of H1s on the same page. And this is like a very basic HTML rule. The page will render, you can have 10 H1 tags on the same page, they will all render correctly and you will not get any sort of error in the console, but that does not mean that you should do it. So do not do it. You use your H1, which is really important for SEO, search engine optimization, to tell the crawlers what the page is all about. It's the main title, so use it for that. And then if you want to give all your titles the same font size, just create a class and apply that class. You can say, for example, all your titles you want for any reason to give them 25 pixels. What you do is you create a class called font-25 and then you define it as font size 25 pixels, and then you apply all of those and you apply that class to all of those headings. Then for the user in the front end looks like you're using the same thing because they all have the same font size, but behind scenes and technically you're doing the correct thing, which is using only one H1 per page, and then you can have as many H2, H3, H4, H5, H6 that you need. So point being here is, even when it kind of looks like it works, that does not mean that you can or must ignore the rules, okay? So this is important, especially if you're trying to learn code to work as a freelancer or even to get a job like me. So in the past I did a few basic websites with other technologies like mainly Bootstrap, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, and now I'm moving towards React.js, Next.js and stuff like that, because this is the modern way of doing the web development, the front end thing, okay? So my point is, pay attention to what you do. This is really important. And if you do not do these things, definitely people will label you as a rookie, because these are rookie mistakes. So do not do that, please. Make sure that you're doing it right. With all this long explanation, almost 10 minutes passed. Sorry for that, but yeah, I am still a beginner. This is a beginner level video in the tutorial, so I find important to mention what most of YouTubers don't. Most of YouTubers just feed you what they know and they kind of hide what they do not know. Especially most of YouTubers, they do not show you what really is important in real world scenario, because on YouTube, yeah, you can be whoever you want. If you have great teaching skills, great communication skills, great video editing skills, nice voice, nice look, whatever, blah blah blah, you can be a very popular YouTuber. I believe on that. Okay, but that is great, but that does not mean that you should not tell people how things should be done properly. Okay. Whew. Sorry, long side note here. Okay, let's go back to the component. Okay, as I said, we are going to be using the image component in this one. This one is going to be a bit tricky comparing to the other one. So let's work on this. So instead of a div, I actually want to use another HTML5 semantic tag, which is a section, which is pretty much the same thing. But semantically means there's a difference. So you can just Google semantic HTML5 tags and you will learn about it. As I mentioned it and showed you before, by clicking in our navbar, we want to navigate to this specific section, and the ID is IKEA. Okay, IKEA. I think I wrote it this way. So just have a quick look on the navbar. There you go. See? This is what I mean. When we click on this link, we are going to be taken not to a different page inside of our website, not to another website, but will be taken to this specific section of our page, which is ID IKEA, which is this component right here. Okay, so with this project you learn how to link externally to any other link in the internet. You learn how to link internally to any other page inside your website, and we are doing that because we have created already the contact page here, and we can navigate to that page easily. Okay, contact, and I made a typo already, so I'm gonna get a photo for contact. Let's try this again. Okay, contact. Now I click on my logo and I will navigate back to my own page where I was. Amazing. And the goal is when we click here, we get taken to this section that doesn't exist yet, but we did it right here. So I click here, boom, there I go. Okay, that's the goal. Okay, 13 minutes and I didn't do pretty much anything apart from explaining things, but I find them important for beginners. Hopefully you agree, this is my way of thinking and doing things. Okay, class name, and I'm gonna say margin bottom of 10 because I want to give a small separation here so it doesn't stick to the footer. So that's why I'm giving this margin bottom of 10. Have I imported this already in my, I don't think I did. Let's have a quick look. Let's go to the home page. Oh, I have. Okay, great, amazing. Okay, so let's continue then. This section will have like plenty of divs. So let's just create one main div in here. Okay, and then inside that div, I'm gonna have 3 different divs. 1, 2, 3. I always like to create my structure so I don't get too lost. Hopefully you understand what I'm doing and you like this way of organizing the work. Okay, okay, this class, oh come on, class name, it's going to be, one more time we are going to be using grid. Okay, but this time we want the columns to have the same size, the same width. Okay, so we do not want like 70% and 40%, we want them to take the same size. but we want to go from one column and then medium-sized devices 2 columns, and then large devices onwards 3 columns. So that's the goal. So grid calls 1 to start with, and then medium grid calls 2, and then large grid calls 3. And once again I'll be using a gap, this time gap of 4. Okay, so this is my grid. I have created my grid now, and now inside it I'm gonna start placing my items. As a visual reference, I'm just gonna put like H2 here. H2, come on, H2, and then here I will be using the image component. This time I'm gonna start by saying image, image, image component, and I'm a bit lost now. Let me just see something. So Next.js image, image, image. I want to see if it has a closing tag or not. Yeah, it's a self-closing. I wasn't really sure, to be honest. Sometimes we forget this. So there's just the opening tag and no closing tag. It's a self-closing. But as I told you before, it takes these 4 attributes. It's mandatory: source, width, height, and alt. So we can actually copy paste this. So it's a bit faster, okay? Okay, so I do not want this. I'm just gonna say this, and I'm gonna leave that as it is for the moment. So I will deal with that when the time comes. I just want to have like a place where I organize things. So inside this div, I'm gonna have another div that will host 2 more divs. So I'm just creating my structure here one more time. You can do this or not, but I find it important so I don't get too lost and I don't forget things, because sometimes when we do not do this, we do not create our structure ahead, we end up putting the divs or the content inside the wrong div, and then the layout breaks. It's just annoying. So I find it a bit easier for me to work from outwards towards inwards. So like I go from out to in, so from big to small. I create my parent containers, and then my child's, and then my children inside the child, so the grandchildren per se. Okay, this is the logic. Hopefully you understand what I mean. Okay, now that I have created my basic structure, I think I can go ahead, and I'm also gonna give it like this little visual separation so you actually can see where you are at. Okay, so section, and this is the content of the section. So now let's really start working and styling all of this. So class name, and here I'm gonna say flex because I want to use flexbox. And one more time, I can excuse me, one more time I want to justify things in the center, vertically and horizontally. So horizontally, justify center items, center, boom. And then I'm just gonna copy paste the text inside my H2, which is this one. There you go. And then class name, one more time, class name, amazing. I'm gonna say text, and one more time I'll be customizing Tailwind CSS classes by adding this syntax, and then I say var, which is the var that I have defined on the first video, I believe. And I want to use my primary color. Okay, then I want to say text, the 3XL, font, obviously bold. I like to use that. Margin border, sorry, margin bottom 5, okay, and then on medium sizes devices the margin bottom goes back to 0, okay. I'm giving margin bottom 5 only on mobile, because on mobile they stack exactly like this on top of each other, 1, 2, 3. But medium size, because this column moves to the right and this one will take the full width, I don't need that margin button anymore. That's why I'm removing that on medium board, on medium size, okay. Okay, let's continue. So the image, let's just style the image div. So class name, one more time. You know this by heart. I hope you know this by heart already. So flex, justify center, and then overflow hidden, because if the image is too big, I do not want the image to go out of my div container, okay. The image, I'm gonna give like class name, so I'm gonna style my image now, and I want this image to take a custom width. There you go, same syntax, those brackets, you add those brackets, and then instead of saying, for example, if you wanted full, this is just Tailwind's CSS regular class to say take the entire width horizontally, but I do not want that. I want to customize it, so I use this syntax, and I say 80% in this case, okay. And I want to give like a bit of rounded corners, a tiny bit, so I'm gonna say rounded XL, and then the source, I'm gonna be copy pasting it, of course, which is this, okay. And then the alt, just gonna be also copy pasting, so it's a bit faster. You know, my videos are always very long because I talk a lot and I really tend and want to explain things in detail. I think that's the point of my channel. So it's I think it's for a very specific and small audience. Okay, amazing. So let's work on the third. We can have a quick look on how it looks like now, so we can close this for the moment. Okay. Oh, there you go. I forgot to mention this. Okay, so let's go. Let's fix this error. I had this problem before, so I need to go. Okay, let me think. Next image. Next.config, and I think I just need to add this. Okay, next.config. So we need to go to this file, next.config, and we need to, let's see the example. Images, blah 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 blah. Model exports. What happens if I just copy this? And then I put it here, and then host name, host name, I don't think I need this. Does it work? Come on. Yeah, live debugging. Let's see. I'm just gonna, oh yes, because I believe when you make a change to this config file, you need to restart your server. So I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna say clear, and then I'm gonna say npm run dev. I think this is going to solve our problem. Hopefully I'm right, otherwise I will be ashamed live on YouTube. Okay. Come on, boom, 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 boom. Oh, come on. My computer is so damn slow while it's recording. Yeah, this is a 2015 Mac computer. Does it work? Come on, please. Oh shit, no. Empty string, what is this? Okay. Okay. What about this? Maybe I don't need this. I'm just testing, I don't know. I never... So I don't need this. What the heck? Yeah, of course. And you need to restart your server one more time, I believe. So Control C, then clear npm run dev. Come on, make it work. I have another solution, which is I'm gonna open another project where I believe I fixed this problem. No, not this one. Okay. We just what did I do wrong? Just gonna copy this. I'm copying this from another project that I have because instead of googling this error and trying to fix it again, because I only had this problem once, I'm using another example, and then I hope to get it. I hope to get it fixed. Come on. This should be in here, and I'm gonna drop my server one more time. I'm gonna say clear. I'm gonna say npm run dev. Hopefully it's gonna work now. Come on. One error. That is not looking good. Still one error. Okay, it worked. Look at that. Shit. Took a long time, but it has worked. So I normally do not, 90% of the times I do not do any video editing for any reason, okay? And in this particular time, in this particular video, I'm not going to edit this out because this is a scenario that you will face. You will not, this problem will arise. So it is important for you to try to figure out this. I try to copy this. I'm trying to record the video. I'm not really able to speak and think and research in a fast way. So I went and opened another project that I started building in the channel, where we fetch information from an external API, and I used that project to fix the problem because this is the second time I'm facing this problem, okay? And why is this? Because I'm trying to include images that are not hosted locally. These images are coming from an external source, this domain right here, because inside my public folder I do not have any images folder where I host the image for the project. As you saw, I'm just copy pasting the URL and putting inside my source, okay? And this is a problem when you do it this way, which is tricky, and this is not the best way of doing things, of course. You need to be aware of these problems. So this is why I made a mistake. Took me long minutes to figure this mistake out, but I was able to fix it. And you saw everything from the mistake happening, me getting confused, me getting lost, a bit worried, let me be honest, but I also was able to fix. And this is what you are going to face sooner or later. The only way for you to never face this kind of problems is if you just copy paste code from someone else and you don't really know what you're doing. Because if you then copy paste and if there's a slight change, like me using the URL and not grabbing the image inside my public folder that would contain an images folder or whatever, or assets folder, depending on what you prefer to do. This is important. That's why this video is getting so long, but I don't care because I find it important to show the reality. This is where most YouTubers just edit the videos. And I'm gonna tell you also this, many times I'm watching a tutorial, the guy on the YouTube, the guy making the video makes a mistake, doesn't realize, okay? But when he finishes the video, he edits the code and does not tell you. It happened before. I was watching tutorials, I was coding along, I was following every single step, and my code was not working. Why was that? Because the guy made a mistake, corrected in the next video, but never showed the corrected version. So my code will not work because of that, because I didn't know where the mistake was. So this was really annoying. I don't know, you might like my perspective, you might hate my perspective because I'm taking a long time in this video. I didn't do much and I took more than 30 minutes and I'm just talking and explaining you the reality. I don't know, many people will not like, I know that. But I'm gonna take the risk, I'm gonna upload this video as it is, and let's see what you think. And then if you wanna go and want me to hide these things to make shorter and faster videos in the future, if that's your preference, I will probably start doing that, but I do not recommend that. I think that is not being transparent and that is not being helpful for beginners, okay? Sorry for all of these side notes, but we were able to fix the problem. So let's continue. Okay. Whew. Back to column number 3, the complex one per se. Okay. So let's start right away. Let's start putting things centered inside this. So class name one more time, and you know this, flex justify center, and then items center, and then medium breakpoint I want call span 2, and then large breakpoint I want this to go back to call span 1. I showed you this happening this video, the previous one I cannot really remember, probably this one. Anyways, this is what we need. Now the inner column that contains the other two, so this one, class, and class name padding x of 5, width of full, height of full, flex, because I want to use flex container, flex, and then I say flex call, because now I want to vertically align things inside this column, and then I'm going to justify them, justify evenly. So it's a different property, evenly, so just Google this, justify evenly Tailwind CSS property, text center, amazing. And this will contain these two divs, okay? The first one will just contain the title, so it's going to be a p tag, okay? And then the second one will contain the link and that icon, blah 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 blah, that button. Okay, let's start here. This I'm just gonna copy, so it's a tiny bit faster. Okay, and then I say, okay, this is just to align. I don't think I need anything here, so in here I need the link, and I have imported at the top. Great. So I can simply say link, and come on, there you go, link. So link as an opening and closing tag, image as just an opening tag, which is, and it's a self-closing tag. So it's like HTML. Link, of course you're gonna need the href to send someone to href to a specific internet location. Target attribute is going to be blank. Okay. One more time, I'm just gonna copy this link, this URL. Okay. And now I'm gonna work on my button. So I'm gonna say button. I don't get why these shortcuts sometimes don't work. If you know it, and I know that I said this before, but if you know, just let me know. Okay, class. I'm gonna style this class name, the usual, and I want font bold. Yeah, you guessed it. Rounded. Inline flex. Inline flex. That's a nice class for you to also Google and learn about. Span. There you go. Now it worked. Span. Class. And I want a margin right of 2, so I have a little separation, so the icon is not really against the edge of this span text. And margin 2, text 1XL. One more time, custom color that I used before, so I could and should have created a variable for this color also, but I haven't. We just created for our primary color, so it's something that you can do. I'm just gonna also copy paste this text right here. Okay. And then have I imported? No, I haven't. So I need to import the icon. It's the same icon that we used before on the other component, okay? So I'm just importing here at the top, so I can then go here and right below my span, but still inside my button, I'm just gonna call this component, which is BS, is it? Fill, oh come on, I hate. I'm trying to be fast because I lost a huge amount of time with my explanations and that error fixing. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna give it a class name of, oh come on, class name of, oh come on, name, plenty of typos, class name of to accept text to Excel, I think. Let's have a quick look. Oh yeah, that's it. This is us. That's it. Boom. But this is not okay. The link seems to be fine, but not this class. So what have I done wrong? Let me have a quick look. So why? Of course I didn't style it. Gosh, silly me. Class, that's why. So font, not bold this time, italic. Woohoo! I'm changing my font weights. Font, italic, no typo there now. And then I say text to Excel and text to Excel. What else? Margin Y, so vertically of 10, because I want to give a little separation. Okay, let's see now. What? Okay, there you go. One more time, that next delay, but now we can see that is right. So we need to check if this is working. The link, yeah, bottom left, we can see the link. We click, it opens. Amazing. And we also need to check if this link is working. So I'm gonna go to the top, just gonna refresh my page, and I hope that when I click here, I will be sent to that specific section with the ID of IKEA. And it worked. Amazing. Yeah, small progress, but as you can see, we have done pretty much everything. So we have to still do the footer and the contact page, which is pretty much empty, and it's just a reminder for you to remember how to deal with routes. Okay, so let's leave that for another video because this one was too long. And for this one, if you watch this video, please let me know what you think of my way of teaching. Especially let me know what you think of not editing my mistakes out like most YouTubers do. I know that they do that also because they want to make the videos shorter, because viewers typically like shorter videos, and that's fine. I understand that. I understand all of that. But my point is that is fine up to the moment, in my personal opinion, up to the moment where you start hiding your own mistakes that people can do, and then if someone makes a slight change in the code, we'll see an error and will not understand why, because the person thinks, oh, I copy and paste all the code, now I'm just importing like an image in a different way, or I'm just doing a silly thing or whatever that makes an error, throws an error in the console, and they will be scared and frustrated. My point with these long videos is to show you my very own mistakes and how do I fix them. I do not just talk about how to fix mistakes. I make them. Sometimes I don't even know that I'm gonna be making them, but I am honest, especially with myself, showing my limitations, because at this point in time, at this date, I am not that experienced with Next.js. I'm not. I'm teaching Next.js as far as I know, but I'm not experienced. And I actually never did this professionally either. Still, I learned it from other people. I built my own stuff. I made my own mistakes. Somehow, with help and alone, I was able to overcome my mistakes and my problems. And that's what I'm trying to show you. I'm trying to give you a good look at what reality really is. So YouTube is amazing, but it's like a bit like social media, you know? People always smiling, always being friendly, always this, always that. At the end of the day, most of that is just bullshit. It's not their real life. Those pictures were taken with a specific thing in mind, and those videos were created with a specific thing in mind. I'm not against that. I'm just telling you, if you want to learn, you also need to face reality, and reality is you will make mistakes, you will get stuck, you will get frustrated. So I know it's a long video, but this is important for me. I started this YouTube thing like 2 months ago, give or take. I have like 60 subscribers. That's the amount of subscribers I have up to date. But yeah, I want to learn, I want to teach, I want to maybe get a job, maybe improve my freelancing skills, maybe get a client, whatever. So this is why I'm doing all of this, and I would like you to provide me with your very personal and honest opinion about it. Okay, let's just cut off bullshit and let's be honest with each other. Okay, amazing. This project is almost done, but it isn't done, so keep watching the channel so you see on my last video how I finish the project by building the footer component and the page component. Okay, ciao.